Here we got a 69 Roadrunner. Look for cars I haven't done before. This is not a Hemi, by the way. This is a 440. Strictly high RPM, that's for sure. With that manifold on there. And got the meat on there, the M50. The M50 14s, man. Those are like, that's classic early 70s stuff, man. And you got the little shift. Oh, that's cool. That's 70s stuff. Little wheel with the, the shifter on the floor. That's got a short shifter on it, so it's like real short throw. And it's got a spoiler. That's an add-on. That wasn't even an option on this car. But yeah, that's a 69 Roadrunner. A little decal right there. Beep beep, right? Big Plymouth on the side. This used to call them in a dealership when you worked in a dealership. Plymouth, Christmere, and Dodge. That's what they called them. You know, people working there just screwing around. Yeah, it's got the, I had a ragtop on mine, man. That was a long time ago, though. I had that car a long time. Oh, there's a 383, so I can't tell the difference between 383 and a freaking 440. I mean, you really can't. The way you can tell a 383 440, though, the distributor's in the front. That's the fast way. But, you know, he might even have this stroked, so I don't even know if it's a 383 cubic inch. If you don't even bore, well, it's probably bored and stroked. If it's stroked, it would be a 432. Sometimes they stroke the 383s. Usually they stroke the 440s, but sometimes they stroke the 383s. Got the old Optima battery in there. Assuming that's what it is. You can't tell the difference between the two of them. I just figured it was a 440 with all that built up like that. You notice how the water manifold sits out a little ways from the engine. You know, it's not like bolted right on there. It's got like a water manifold and a water pump sits on that versus just sitting directly on the block. Even these intake manifolds, they had like a gap between. It was like a tray. It didn't actually bolt directly to the. There was like a tray first, and that gap kept the fuel cool, and the tray kept the oil from splashing out, obviously, versus the manifold. And the manifold was bolted to the top of the tray, and I think there was an insulator between that too, that tray and the manifold, which kept the fuel cool. And as you can see, it's got insulation in there, but I mean, obviously that's on a stock manifold, but that's how even the stock ones had like the tray. You can see the 3 bolts in the front there. I don't know if you can see what I'm talking about, right? There's like right there. There's 2 of them. Actually, I like these. I like this a lot better than even the small block Chevys, because when you change that intake manifold, there was less. I mean, you wouldn't leak. It was easier to make it not have a vacuum leak or some kind of problem with it. But it was a design where you didn't have that, hard starting when it was hot, the vapor lock, because of that insulation in that tray. And he's got his vacuum line capped off on his distributor. It looks like a stock point set up, and that's your fuel pressure regulator right there. So he's got a stock cell coil, but it looks like a stock points ignition. So, but that's a super high RPM manifold. And on these, I don't know, this probably is adjustable rockers and all that stuff, but it's typically that's an automatic too. It's automatic right there. Typically, the stock ones were not adjustable rockers, which is another thing not to mess with. I like the old Mopars, to tell you the truth, man. I think they were built very good. Torsion bar suspension, all that garbage.